Hi and welcome to the first class of Appium. There are n number of tools present in the mobile automation. Like you may know that you already have heard about iOS driver, Appium, Android, Calabash. Today we'll be discussing about what are the advantages of Appium, why to choose Appium, and why not to choose other tools. So what is the main requirement of going for this Appium? So normally people have n number of questions in their mind when they are starting with any mobile automation, that which automation they need to choose, whether they need to go for Appium or they need to choose Android or iDriver or Calabash. So in this session I'll be giving you answers to all that question, that which mobile automation tool do you need to choose. So if I talk of current trend, there are, you may say that, four major automation tools that are present in market. Okay, so we have four tools, and let me increase the font size. Okay, so we have four tools, right? So starting from first, we have Appium, Android, iOS driver, and Calabash, and we'll be comparing about all these tools. So if I come here, let me select this. Like first one would be Appium, and it would be followed by your Android. The third would be, you may say, your iOS driver, and the fourth would be your Calabash. So as the very name suggests, the first would be Appium, followed by, let's name it as Android. The third one is iOS driver, and the fourth one is, and the fourth one is Calabash. Right. Now we'll be discussing about the, you may say, what are the advantages of Appium and Android and iOS driver and Calabash. Like if I come to my presentation also, in this PPT also I'm just talking about the various tools. Okay, first of all we'll just talk about what are the various tools that are present in market. Then we'll talk about that what is Appium and all that. So coming back here, so what is the major advantage of using this Appium? The main advantage is that Appium can be used for your iPhone as well as your Android application. So you may automate your iOS as well as Android apps. So iOS as well as your Android apps. Similarly, if I talk of this Android, in this I can only automate my Android apps, as the very name suggests. This iOS driver, this is only for your iPhone apps, and this Calabash is also used for both the apps. Okay, now coming to the second one. In terms of your Appium, there is no APK required for it. Now, what is this no APK? First of all, what is this terminology called APK? Let me come here. It's APK. Okay, so what does this APK stands for? It is an executable file from your Android code. Guys, mainly you have heard about your exe files. We talk about exe. .exe. When you download anything in your Windows system, that comes with extension of exe. When you want to install, it has .exe extension. Similarly, for your Mac, it has .dmg. For Mac it's DMG. So when you install any DMG with the extension file .dmg, so it automatically get that okay, this is for your Mac machine. Similarly, like if it is exe, it is for your Windows machine. Similarly, if any file is having extension .apk, so it means that it is for your Android system. Similarly, for your iPhone, you have app. Okay, so for iPhone you have app. Similarly, it depends whether which platform you are choosing. So depending upon your platform, you have the specific extension, because your operating system only understands the specific format. Like if it's an Android file, if it is having extension .apk, your Android operating system will understand okay that this app is available for your Android. It has all the Android code, so it will automatically install it. Until and unless it has the specific extension, this cannot be downloaded. This means I want to just emulate my statement. You can download it, but you cannot install it in your phone. Okay. Now the second thing. Normally we say that I have a phone, like suppose I could talk of Samsung S8 or any device in the market. But technically you never say it as a phone. It's a device. So we will be using the terminology as device rather than phone. Just a second. Sorry for this. Fine. So it would be device. Just a second. So now coming back after we have done with this no APK, now there is a major advantage of using this Appium is that it has your multi-language support. Multi-language support. Now what is this multi-language support? This multi-language support means that it supports Java, it supports .NET, okay, suppose Python, Ruby. Means you can write your Appium code in Ruby, you can write your Appium code in Python, you may write it in .NET, you may choose Java, you may go for any programming language that you want. Okay, you may choose any language and then you can write your code that will run for your Appium. Appium has the support for all these languages. Similarly, if I come to Selendroid is also a multi-language support. Now, as it's iOS driver, so we won't be talking about this iOS driver because this is only specific to your iPhone. Now coming to this Calabash, this is only written in Ruby and it uses BDD. It's behavior driven development. Only due to this behavior driven development and this Ruby framework, this Calabash is not used in market because you need to have some specific programming skill set. So only because of this reason this Calabash is unable to grab the market that Appium is doing, because Appium has given a vast, you may say it has given uh, the mainly you can say that your Appium has given a vast variety of language support that its competitor are unable to give. Even if I come here, just want to show you, this is just a website that talks about different tools that are present in the market. So there is a Selenium, Appium, Espresso. I'll talk about this Espresso also. XCUI test is your iPhone iOS drivers only, and this is the Calabash. And if I'll scroll it down, you want to see the GitHub ranking. Your Appium is having 2444 stars in comparison to its other tools. Even your Selenium is having 787 only. So your Appium is capturing the market very fastly nowadays. Okay, so this is the main the GitHub ranking about that. Now coming back to the picture, there is a Espresso also. like your CUI test or your iOS driver, they are specific to your iPhone only. Similarly, this Espresso is only and only for your Android, and it is used by your Android developers. Okay, it is not used by your test engineers, it is used by your developers for your unit testing. It is mainly used for your unit testing only. Fine, so coming back. So now, like we have discussed about all this, so this calabash is no more in picture. Okay, so what I can do here is I can just eradicate it. Fine, let me come back. Just give me a second. So this is eradicated. Similarly, this iOS driver is also eradicated. Now I want to talk about this Appium or your cell Android. Fine. So now I'll be discussing about this Appium and cell Android only, because these two are we won't be talking about. Excuse me. So we won't be talking about this two. Only cell Android and Appium is in picture. Now coming back. Normally people ask me the question that which tool should we use or which tool should we run, whether we should learn Android or we should learn Appium. So guys, the answer to this question is lies here that instead of choosing the tool that you want to use, it totally depends upon the business requirements, that which app you want to automate. For example, just give me a second. Let me open a new one. Fine, now if I come here, normally there are some versions in Android. First of all, I'll talk about the version, then I'll give the answer that which tool to use, whether it should be Appium or it should be cell Android. Okay, so let me come here and write some versions. First of all, it's 2x version, 3x version, 4x, 5x, 6x, sorry, it's 6x, 7x, 8x, 9x. So what does this x means? Like if you've heard about nowadays, you have 6.0 was there for Android. Now it's actually 8.0, and you also call it as Oreo, the new operating system that is currently in trend in the market, and sooner Android is planning to launch 9.0 also. Similarly, you have 7.0. Here X means the O. It will start from 0 1 to like 7.1, 7.2. There are different versions. So it's Nougat, fine, and this was Marshmallow, and so on, and you have all the versions of different your Android. Fine. So these were the different versions that your Android chose. Now, if you talk, say that your developers, they never talk in terms of this version. They never say that okay, I'm building an app that would be version or working on your Oreo or Nougat. No, they say that I'm targeting some API levels. Example 11, 12 up to you may say 16, then you have 17, you have 26. So these are your API levels. So now these are different API levels. If you say that till 16 and then from 17 till date, your Apm is targeted here and your cell Android is targeted here. If you are working over any mobile application that works from API level 11 to 16, you have to choose the automation tool as cell Android. But if you are targeting any app that has API level 17 till 27 or 28 means still so on, then you have to choose Appium as your automation tool. So now the question that which tool we should learn, the answer to that is it totally depends upon the business requirement of your client, whether he is choosing the API level above 16 or below 16. And the, the API levels below 16, okay, it corresponds to the fourth generation of phones, fourth and third generation. And Google is going to obsolete the fourth generation phones, means 4.1, 4.2, 4.4 from next year, means you may say that April 2019 the support for these phones won't be available. Okay, so even either you have to upgrade your phone, if you can do it from 5.0 or something like that, or you have to buy a new device. So Appium is rolling over the market comparative to Cell Android. So now the answer lies with you, not with me, that which tool you should learn. Fine. So coming to the next step. Now we know about this Appium. So now we're talking of Appium from the start. What is this Appium? If you talk of if you talk about Appium in terms of a definition, so you may say that Appium is actually a mobile automation tool that is used to automate your Android and iPhone apps. As simple as that. Because till the time we were discussing about this only. So this is actual definition of your Appium. Now, if I move further about this Appium, okay. Now the thing is how the Appium interacts. Okay, let me come to my presentation back. So we have talked about what is this Appium, what all can be tested. We know what all can be tested. Now there is something called you may say that Webdriver wire protocol. Now what is this Webdriver wire protocol? Even we have got the answer when to use Cell Android and when to use Appium. Now what is this Webdriver wire protocol? What is this protocol and how it works? Okay, let me go and make a new one. So now let's talk about this protocol. This protocol is nothing, it's actually the way how your Appium interacts. You may say how your Appium interacts, or how your Appium behaves, or you can say how your Appium code actually. Okay, so how the data is passed, the more better term to it. So let me open it. 2 and 3. Now consider it as your Webdriver. Guys, you don't need to worry about this Webdriver and this the drivers that I would be talking right now, because in the other classes I'll be discussing in detail that what is this Webdriver, how this Webdriver works. So we'll be talking about all this stuff. Okay, this is just an overview that how it actually works. Appium, your mobile app. Here it's your Appium, or you may say let me write here, it's Cell Android or your iOS driver, any automation tool that you're planning to use. Fine. So let me come here. So your Webdriver will interact with your Appium, and your Appium will further interact with your mobile app. So how this interaction will take place? This interaction will take place with the help of Webdriver command, and here it would be your Android. Look, I'm assuming that now I'm automating the Android app. If it's an iPhone, then it would be iOS command. Okay, that totally depends upon the platform that you are choosing. So this whole interaction medium, okay, this Android command, this helps with the help of your, this interaction takes place with the help of your JSON wire protocol. Okay, now what is this JSON wire protocol? JSON wire protocol is the medium, as the very name suggests, wire protocol. So it's the medium through which your Appium it interacts with your mobile app. Because look, you're at the end, we are only concerned with how my Appium is interacting with my mobile app. Because it will down the line it will interact with my mobile app and will perform some XYZ operations. So how that interaction is taking place? So that interaction is taking place with the help of your JSON wire protocol. Okay. So in this, with the help of the JSON wire protocol, you inject your code into your mobile device and you make it work according to your requirement. Means you automate that app. So the major beauty of using this Appium is that Appium also works in grid. This is the major, you may say, advantage or beauty of Appium. Now, what is this grid? Okay, mostly you might have heard about this terminology grid. So example, if I say that this is my main parent computer, 1, 2 and 3. So this will interact with it. Okay, so now you may say that this is your main system, okay, or where you have injected your code, and these are the different mobile devices that I have connected to my phone. So in a single throw I can run my Appium code in 3 different mobile. Let assume it as M1. This is mobile 1. This is mobile 2 and this is your mobile 3. Sorry. And this is my Appium code. So in a single throw I can run my code in 3 different mobile devices at a single instance of time. So this is the main advantage of your Appium. The scalability is the major advantage that I could use grid at any time. I could use Jenkins to deploy my code in 3 different devices at the same instance of time, and I could record the test and I could share the reports accordingly. So this is the main advantage of using your Appium. Now, like I'm using my Appium, so because we need to inspect some elements, there has to be some element that needs to be inspected. So in case of your Android, if I want to inspect the element, you will inspect it with the name of UI Automator. Fine. So UI Automator is basically used in case of your Android, and your Appium Doctor accompanied by XUI test UI automation in case of your iPhone. Okay, this one is in case of your Android, because look, down the line we have to inspect the elements until and unless I get some XPath and I get some you may say CSS selector or relevant elements. So I cannot inspect, I cannot click. If there's a button, I need to get its relative path, be it its XPath or any path, but I need to get the path. So for Android, the UI Automator is the god. And similarly, in case of your iPhone, you may say that Apm Doctor that is combined with your XUI test and UI automation, but you don't need to worry. You don't need to work over 3. It's a combination that works, and in down the line I'll teach you that how this combination work, how can you easily get the elements, how can you easily click over the element, and you may automate the apps accordingly. So in the you may say in the next tutorials we'll be talking about more about that how to configure the Appium in your machine, the more major part. This was just an introduction section of what is Appium all about. Okay, so be with me. Thanks, guys.